EEG biofeedback is a therapy technique that has been used for decades to treat ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, and other mental health disorders. The origins of EEG biofeedback go back to the 1950s and 1960s, beginning with research by professors at both the University of Chicago and UCLA. These research studies pioneered the use of an EEG to provide neurofeedback training. While the method did not go without its skepticism, through extensive research studies, it has been proven to be a beneficial therapy for many people. Today, this therapy technique has been extended to use in people with autism spectrum disorder.
What is biofeedback? Biofeedback can be a helpful tool for people with autism spectrum disorder, including people that use AAC. It can help them improve their focus, self control, and communication skills. For many people with autism, managing sensory input, attention, language processing, and emotional control can be difficult. EEG neurofeedback tracks brainwave activity and gives visual or auditorial cues, just showing the brain is calm, focused, busy, etc. Biofeedback is administered by trained neurologists with specialized expertise. These specialists place sensors on the head to measure brain activity. The person watches or listens to biofeedback on a screen that changes in real time, positive when the brain is doing the targeted skill and neutral when it's not. This trains the brain to repeat those helpful patterns in everyday life. Over time, it can improve attention, emotional control, and self regulation by strengthening the brain pathways being targeted. And here you will find a video.
The EEG recordings are connected to a brain-computer interface that converts the EEG into a video game with auditory and visual feedback, so the patient is learning how to improve brain activity that will improve brain functioning. In autism spectrum disorder, there are abnormal functional connections in the brain that produce symptoms. It diminishes brain functioning. In the brain map analysis, we can look at 11,000 plus functional connections in the brain. We then see if any of those connections are not working normally that are linked to specific symptoms the child is experiencing. The patient can then learn to improve brain activity that will improve brain functioning. When the cheetah is moving across the screen on the top row towards the right, and you hear a bell go off, every second that occurs, the patient is now producing a healthier brainwave pattern. We want to get the brain out of the abnormal state it's in and start having it develop into a much healthier functional state.
While EEG neurofeedback has been a growing and proven therapy technique across many different disorders or mental issues, its application as an autism intervention is relatively new. While we will discuss some research studies and results thoroughly later in this video, the general consensus has been that this intervention can improve neuroconnectivity by training the brain to regulate emotions, increase attention and focus, and enhance social engagement skills. There is obviously tons of research to still be done to prove this intervention to be effective for the autism population, but the results so far seem to be really positive.
What are the ethical and practical considerations and limitations? When looking at autism interventions, we want to consider what is best fit for the individual as well as their family. In that sense, there are many things we need to consider. First of all, do your research. Only trained neurologists and neuropsychologists specializing in this technique should be administering this therapy. Make sure the clinic in consideration is certified and experienced in this technique. As previously discussed, cost can be an issue with certain insurances, and the therapy can be difficult accessibility wise as well. 3 sessions a week is a big commitment. It can be difficult for individuals sensitive to sensory input or have short attention spans. Should be heavily weighed and when making a decision. It also needs to be made clear that biofeedback is not a cure for autism and should not be used as a replacement for other therapies. That can also help manage symptoms of autism. Lastly, EEG biofeedback is a relatively new intervention for autism. There have been numerous studies released supporting the use of biofeedback as an autism intervention, but there needs to be a more large-scale research done before it is trusted and certified therapy for autistic individuals.
Now let's talk about the data. In a 2021 study, 42 children between the ages of 6 and 18, all diagnosed with ASD, participated in 40 sessions of neurofeedback, given 3 times a week, each session lasting about 40 minutes. The study tested whether or not a reduction in theta wave activity would actually improve a child's cognitive functions. The data showed that there was a reduction in theta wave activity and an increase in beta wave activity in all participants, affecting three areas of the brain: areas of socialization and communication, areas of activity, and areas of emotion. 37 of the participants reflected positive improvements in social interaction, attention and focus, and thought. In all, the research study, like the vast majority of other neurofeedback trials, shows that the application of neurofeedback as an intervention for autism has the possibility of being a very beneficial therapy technique.
In conclusion, although there are several factors to consider before choosing this intervention, research and many real life testimonials show that biofeedback can be very helpful. It is not a cure, but it can improve social communication, sensory, and emotional regulation skills. Overall, it's a promising option when used safely and consistently.